I think that we miss the purpose of God creating a body. Like when he talks about how a toe can't be the knee and the knee can't be the shoulder. It's like, he created us uniquely different for a reason. And so I think a lot of times a church might have a particular mission and they want everybody to conform to their mission. But I think what leadership has to do is leadership has to notice the giftedness in certain people and cultivate that gift in them, right? Because so what I used to do when we co-led a church in Chicago, I was the head of the evangelism team, right? When I started, I made everybody go out. Yeah. Not because I felt like everybody was called to go out. Yeah. I made everybody go out so I can notice who ain't. And so, you don't need to be out here. I don't think that this is, and as a leader, that was my job, to be prayerful and to discern people's gifts. Yeah. And so what we did, because we co-led a house church, I understood the people who had the gifts of hospitality. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? The people out here who are evangelists like me, they might not have the gifts for hospitality. Yeah. And so when we giving the gospel to them, I know where to point them back to, where they can be served in a different way.
That's good.
Right? And so I think that if we understand that everybody is not called to serve in the same way, we won't be trying to force people to be an evangelist because we are an evangelist in the same way that we are an evangelist. Yeah. But we're all created to make disciples.
Yeah. And don't hear us saying that God won't make you uncomfortable. That's not what we're saying.
No.
Like, there will be times where you have to play a role that you don't feel especially equipped for. There will be times where God will call you to obey him in a way that you don't feel like you're gifted for. But the overall emphasis is there are also ways in which God has equipped you, gifted you, and placed you that actually serve the overall call that he has on your life. Identify that and walk in it. I think one example practically for me is when I was at Wendy's, when I was 20 years old, right? Like, I was still doing poetry on the side, and poetry was a means of teaching God's scriptures for me. And so I was there and I was trying to call off on Easter. They wouldn't let me call off. And I was like, Lord, if I can't go to church on Easter, if I got to be at work, well, clearly, like, make it a ministry opportunity, right? Yeah. Mind you, I'm not preaching on nobody's pulpit. I don't have no Instagram account because I don't even think I think that was Instagram when you can only have it on Android or something like that, or iPhone. But I was like, Lord, like, you have me here, and I'm a Christian. I'm the only Christian in this place. Like, use me. And so, like, it was like this lull in the day, and we was by the fry station, and I was like, hey, do y'all know what Easter even means? And they was like, something about bunnies, right? And I was like, no. And so I used it as an opportunity to give the gospel. What happened? I used my gift of teaching. Yeah. Where was I? I was at Wendy's, right? What was I called to do? To give the gospel. How has God made you? How has God gifted you? Where has God placed you? Engage from that place.
That's really
right?
good.
So you don't have to place yourself in any categories out of comparison or even out of insecurity. Identify how the Lord has equipped you, where he's called you, how he's made you, and give him glory.
That's really good.